Hi, this is Zsuzsa from Zsuzsa Healing. Welcome back to my channel with this special edition about guilt. And well, I was motivated to do this video instead of continuing with the virtue series. By the way, determination is coming up, so that's going to be fun. But because guilt has been coming up so much in my life and all my clients' lives as well, and since I healed it, since it was coming up to the surface, I was able to release it. Uh, well, I can just feel lighter, feel much better, feel more energized, and I can feel it in my business as well because I haven't been this busy ever. Clients are finding me from all over the world, and it's not like I have more exposure now like I had, for example, 6 months ago. So I do know that releasing the guilt has a big reason. It's a big reason for it. So in Theta Healing, we are talking about the 3 R's and the 4 R's. And to me, guilt has all of them included. Resentment. If I feel guilty for something, I'm resenting myself. I'm resenting my past aspect. I'm resenting my past and my decisions. In the same time, there is regret, because if there wouldn't be regret, there wouldn't be guilt, right? I mean, they really go hand in hand. I regret what I did, and I regret it because I feel guilty for it, because I judge it to be wrong. And there is, well, no revenge that much, but maybe I'm revenging myself, self-sabotaging myself. And the fourth one is resentment, rejection. Of course, I'm rejecting myself. I'm rejecting that past version of myself. So they all are combined for me in guilt. And it all started 2 months ago. About 2 months ago, I was in Montana attending the Planes of Existence 2 seminar with Vajana Steibel, the founder of Theta Healing, at beautiful Montana at the Theta Healing Institute. And I was lucky enough to be chosen to be her demo. It was an amazing digging session on the virtue of kindness. And it was like 20 minutes long, and one of the attendees, one of my friends, recorded the session and sent it over to me. And I first thought was, wow, I can help. This video will be such a huge contribution to people, and I should share it. But recording at the Theta Healing Institute is forbidden. Posting it is even more forbidden, right? And I did post it on my YouTube channel, and it had like 300 views in like a couple of hours. But the next morning, one of Vajana's daughter said, "Zsuzsa, you posted that video of digging session. You have to take that down because of legal matter and so on." I felt so horrible. I felt this guilt inside me that I haven't been aware of being there. Obviously, this wasn't the first time I felt guilty in my life, right? So it was coming up so strongly, and well, obviously I had to release it, but it has been really tough at times. So that was the first trigger. Of course, I took off the video. I'm like, how could I been so inconsiderate, posting that, and I felt very, very guilty. I mean, number one, I'm so blessed and grateful for being chosen a demo for such an important session, and then like I betrayed them by posting the video, right? So I really, really feel, I still feel bad about it. Okay, then I was staying with two other girls, and on the way back from the institute, maybe that day, the following day, it doesn't really matter. They were talking about parenting and how to speak to children. And again, this guilt was like eating me up because how many times didn't I speak to my children that way, right? Like I always tried my best to be a good parent. However, we still make mistakes, and that guilt was also coming up right there. And then I was doing digging sessions on this and trying to heal it, and I felt better. And then we are in Hungary, and I moved to Miami about a month ago, and I took my daughter out to this really fancy dinner, and the bill comes. First, we ordered something that had a price, and then they came back that was priced for 100 grams, and the portion is 350 grams. So multiplying that amount three times was actually, or three and a half times was actually, well, very pricey. But what are you going to do? Okay, I don't want it. Then the ego, I'm not gonna just cancel my order because it costs three and a half times more than I expected it. And I tried to let it go real quickly, but I felt this guilt for spending money. And the bill was as much as my consultation cost. So it's ridiculous that I make that in an hour and I still feel guilty for spending that on a dinner with my daughter when I'm spending quality time, It's not like we go out to these fancy dinners all the time. Okay, so I tried to heal that as well, but the last one was we arrived. As I'm moving back here, I brought my dog. And in the US, the beds are higher up because there's a box spring, and the mattress is also thicker. And while I was in Montana, she was overfed a little bit, so she is overweight. She's on a diet now. And we are staying at this Airbnb, and she jumps off the bed and she hurt her right front leg. And it was right before Thanksgiving. No veterinary was able to see her. To take her to an emergency hospital, it's like starting at $3,000. So here I am, moving here, have to buy a car, furniture, rent a place. I'm in expenses up until here. In the meantime, I haven't sold my car in Hungary. That's a cash I kind of need. So, and $3,000 either way, it's a lot of money. I felt abusive, like how can they do that? But the main theme was again the guilt. So here I am with the dog that I love so much. I'm responsible for this creature, and I'm not able to give her the best medical attention right away. Of course, I teach the animal seminar. I was scanning the dog. I wasn't getting that the leg is broken, but for my peace of mind, it would have been better if I could take her to get an x-ray. Then I finally find a vet that can do an x-ray, and it was going to be $1,000. And well, something told me not to get it, but I felt so guilty afterwards for not getting it, and it brought up this other situation when my daughter was very sick, and we were also here in the United States. She didn't have a health insurance yet because of legal matters with the father and because of the green card situation. And the hospital bill was $120,000. But after that, she needed to go to a sanatorium that was going to be like $1,500 a day, and I couldn't afford it. And I felt so guilty then too. And when the children were little, sometimes I was going through some really financial hardship, and I couldn't even buy nutritionist food. So I had my ups and downs, and all this guilt was coming up. So I realized that all the guilt has been part of my life since very early on. So our parents tend to discipline us by, shame on you, you shouldn't do this. This is not what we do. They are teaching us discernment, and they are teaching us discipline, and they are teaching us to be responsible, right? However, there's so much guilt involved because I was like a little girl, and I was just curious, and looked into my mother's makeup, and something fell down and it broke, and I felt so guilty, and I got into so much trouble. Just one, right? Just one occasion. Then I remember having this doll that was making this sound, and I was having this like this little dog that was barking and was driving my mom insane. So she was very annoyed. So again, I was made feel guilty for being playful. Then when I was courageous and was doing things, then I remember my dear grandma was like, "Oh my God, are you trying to scare me to death?" Again, I'm trying to scare my grandmother to death. Maybe I will cause her to die. Again, guilt, right? Just being a child and wandering and daydreaming. Oh, this child is so lazy, wasting time. Again, guilt. About studying, not being good enough in school. Then I'm also coming from a family where my mother was abusive and had an alcohol problem, and she would tell me that was my fault. Like, this is your fault. Of course, now I know that it was everyone's fault, because she would tell her mother the same thing and my father the same thing. It was everyone else's fault but hers. But, a little child doesn't understand. Oh, she tells this to everyone else, so probably it's not, it doesn't make sense. So I felt guilty for her drinking and for destroying her life and for her depression. Oh my goodness, for having to spend money on me. I mean, honestly, I don't think my mother spent much money on me. She could always spend money on alcohol and going out, but most of my clothes and my vacations were financed by my grandparents. However, I was a very picky eater, and I did have this salami that I liked. And if I asked for that salami, I was made feel guilty for not eating the cheap one. Uh, I didn't have a very close relationship with my father, but when I was about 12, he took me to Italy to see the the Mediterranean Sea for the first time, and we stopped to do a dip in the water, and in the meantime we got robbed, and all his clothes and all his belongings were taken. Well, that was my fault, because I wanted to go into the water, of course. So I was so terrified from my parents, especially from my mother, that I was lying a lot. So, of course, in the same time, I was feeling guilty. I'm not proud of it, but when she was passed out for days, well, I took money from her purse. Number one, to buy something to eat, but number two, because I could, because I was taking advantage of the situation. Guilt. Well, and stealing was kind of a habit for a while. So I have this cousin, and I stole Lobello, from her, and I got caught, and it was very embarrassing. I was very ashamed, and I felt a lot of guilt. Children with friendships, I mean, there's always betrayal and telling secrets to others and causing problems. Again, so friendship, guilt, communication, so much guilt. Then at one point, I had this huge fight with my mother, and well, she told me some very mean things, like, she wished she would have gotten an abortion. So I cursed her, and she almost died after I cursed her. A lot of guilt. I can't think of a relationship, I can't think of an activity that did not uh, include guilt. And holidays are coming up, and holidays definitely trigger guilt in many people, right? I mean, because of the relationship we are having with our loved ones, shopping, spending money, gifting, then also eating, how much you eat, you can feel guilty about that. Sex definitely was went hand in hand with guilt. Then when I started working, and that constant commitment and my feeling that the loss of freedom and being suffocating, I mean, basically because of, also because before that I was mainly just committed, feeling guilty, and now here I was having to be committed to something that had responsibility. And I was telling you, when the girls were talking about parenting, I mean, parenting and responsibility in general, guilt hand in hand. Investments I didn't turn out well, guilt. Since I started this journey of awareness and consciousness, each time I have a negative thought or my vibration goes down, and I know that I'm not manifesting in those times positive things in my life, I feel guilty, right? Because now I'm aware, I know I have all the tools, I have the skills, the ability to shift my vibration, to direct my thoughts to something positive, and here I am thinking negatively, or I mean, I can allow that. So again, guilt. New Year's resolution, or when you say I will never do this and never do that, and then you end up doing it and you feel like you're betraying yourself. Again, guilt. And by the way, Vajana says that when we say I will never do this or I will always do that, we are actually challenging the law of karma. So you know what? Never say never. It does have, there's a reason for that. And then later on, when mostly in my relationships, mostly it was my mother, it was my father, and my romantic relationship, there was guilt tripping, there was emotional manipulation and emotional blackmail. So guilt. And then I found the following subconscious programs, like guilt feeds on itself. So guilt is really something that it keeps on growing. Guilt is eating me up. So when guilt is eating me up, I mean, probably I'm getting some kind of digestive problems and or cancer, right? Guilt makes me sick on the top of that. So you can have any type of symptoms from feeling guilty, because it's really a sickening emotion and energetically trapped in the body. However, guilt makes me poor. Then there are these sayings, that time heals it all except guilt. Guilt rules me, guilt kills me, and I'm committed to guilt. So you might want to muscle test these on any level. But for now, I would like to offer you a guided meditation. And if you're driving or you're doing an activity, then you should come back to the video at this point. We are at 17 minutes, 50 something seconds. So please find a relaxing position. And take some deep breaths in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And inhale through the nose and exhale slowly. And just start pulling the energy from the center of the earth through the soles of your feet. Visualize this energy coming all the way up to your body, opening your chakras in the front, in the back, coming out your crown chakra, forming a beautiful ball of light above your head. Now pretend that you sit in this ball of light and start to go up, 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 past the sky. And the higher you go, the faster you go, past the universe and the layers and layers of lights of the fourth plane, and the beautiful golden light of the fifth plane, and past the thicker jelly-like substance effortlessly. These are the universal laws. And past the pink mist of compassion, arrive to the seventh plane, to this tingly, pearly, bright white light. And keep going, keep going. Feel that this unconditional love dissolves the ball that you traveled in. Keep going. And feel this unconditional love embracing you and cleansing your energy field and cleansing you energetically and purifying you and recharging you, regenerating you, rejuvenating you. Feel as this unconditional love enters to every system, to every organ, penetrates each cell, healing the morphogenetic field of the DNA in your cells, and really just helping you to raise your vibration. Very good. And now, as creator, what there is, it is requested, commanded that I have a scan on my own body. And I would like you to bring your attention back above your head and turn on like a light switch right above your head and go through your body looking for the guilt. Where did you store that guilt in your body? It will show itself like a darker energy where even the unconditional love probably couldn't get to. Where is that package that you are carrying with you? Identify it, locate it in your body. Thank you, Creator. It's done, it's done, it's done. Now bring your attention back to the seventh plane's energy, to this tingly bright white light. Feel this energy like a waterfall rinsing you. And make the request, the command. Creator of all there is, it is requested, commanded that I know how is this energy serving me. What is it teaching me? How is it motivating me? Thank you, Creator. It's done, it's done, it's done. Feel it, hear it, see it. So whatever the answer was, please ask Creator to teach you that from the seventh plane, the highest definition, perspective, understanding of that lesson, that virtue, that pattern, without having to hold on to guilt. Thank you, Creator. It's done, it's done, it's done. Again, bring your attention back to the seventh plane's energy. Feel the cleansing waterfall of this energy of unconditional love, compassion. And make the requested command. Creator of all there is, it is requested, commanded that I know what is it trying to protect me from, this guilt. Is there any other benefit of this guilt that I've been harboring? And wait for an answer. Thank you, Creator. It's done, it's done, it's done. And then ask Creator to teach you. Request or command Creator to teach you that without needing to harbor, without needing to feed that guilt, and disconnecting all these lessons, all these benefits, all these virtues from guilt. And then one more time, ask Creator, Creator of all there is, it is requested, commanded that I know. Is there anything else I need to learn? Is there anything else preventing me from having self-compassion, self-forgiveness? Thank you, Creator. It's done, it's done, it's done. And then teach that. Ask Creator to teach you that. From the seventh plane, the highest and the best way, and the easiest way for you, with grace. Now, ask Creator to teach you self-compassion from Creator's highest perspective, that yours is the same as Creator's, that it's safe, it's possible, it's permitted to have compassion for yourself, to have compassion for a past self, for a past version of yourself who didn't have all that information, that enlightenment that you have, or that awareness that you have today. But it was a learning process. And if you are familiar with Theta healing, please do the forgiveness exercise on yourself. But for now, can the Creator teach you Creator's highest perspective, definition, understanding of forgiveness, of the virtue of forgiveness, of self-forgiveness, and what it feels like to give it to yourself, to give it to others, and to receive it from others. This is safe, possible, and permitted. Thank you, Creator. It's done, it's done, it's done. So it is. And now, again, bring your attention back to the singly bright white light of the seventh plane. Feel this unconditional love in every cell of your body, in every fiber of your being, in your physical body, in your soul, and beyond this dimension, this reality, your multidimensional being. And ask Creator to release the guilt from your body, from your cells, the highest, the best way for you. Dissolving it through unconditional love. And can the Creator teach you what it feels like to live your life without guilt? Because you know how to be responsible, how to be conscious about your choices, your actions, your words, and without guilt having to show you decency, common sense. Okay. Can now the Creator redirect your receptors of guilt, self-blame, self-judgment, of those two feeling self-compassion, self-understanding, self-acceptance, and self-love with new neurological pathways, synapses. Can the Creator mark complete your contract to be committed to guilt and teach you what it feels like to be committed to love, and through love, that this is safe, possible, permitted. Very good. Okay, bring your attention again back to the seventh plane. Ask Creator to be rinsed off. Imagine this water full of unconditional love cleansing you. Bring your attention back to your body through your crown chakra. Start again pulling the energy from the center of the earth through the soles of your feet. Take a deep breath in and open your eyes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating. I hope my message was understood and clear, and I hope as beneficial as I intended it to be. Have a lovely holiday season. Don't forget to send unconditional love before you go over to a family member. Don't forget the little trick of standing and filling everything up, all the furniture, the walls, the objects with unconditional love and harmony and peace and humor and all that you would like to experience when you are spending Christmas or Hanukkah or any other holiday with your family. Thank you guys. See you soon. If you're not part of the Facebook Theta group, it's called Global Theta Group. I have almost 7,000 members in it, and I post so many useful information. Let's stay in touch there, or my Instagram, my YouTube, or my Facebook page for thetahealing. And please come and check my upcoming seminars on my website. I will post all this information in the description. Like, comment, how did you feel? Did this resonate with you? Were you able to relate to my story? And have a good day. Bye-bye.